Namaste. Welcome to Vishwa Yoga. My name is Vishwa. In this video, I will talk about the steps of a Tantra seeker. First, I will share some of the foundational books, and then we'll talk about the types, paths, and pillar of a Tantra seeker. Based on the questions and queries I have received, I thought this will help to the seeker who are not sure how and where to begin. My approach is to guide you as a teacher based on my personal experience and the knowledge I have received from my teachers, and share it in a logical, practical, progressive, and concise manner without using lofty words. You read, listen to different perspectives. Some may attract, inspire, or move you in many different directions. And many times it confuses you too as which path to follow and how to proceed. Please keep in mind that each of us has an unique deep desire, and so is our journey, so we find our path accordingly. You may have got overwhelmed with the tons of tantric texts I shared in my previous video, but just to have a foundation, I recommend you these 4 books: Introduction to Tantra Shastra, The Serpent Power, Shakti and Shakta, and Tantra of Great Liberation or Mahanirvana Tantra. They are available on Amazon. Though the reading part is easy, the challenging part is how to figure out things or desires going within ourselves and dive further. So I will share 4 practical steps for a seeker. The first step is to be genuine with yourself. Do a soul searching, a self-inquiry as what you want. It is possible that you may be interested in more than one thing at the same time. If so, to begin, just pick the topmost burning desires. It can be purely worldly or spiritual or both. It does not matter, but be honest to yourself. It helps to know that the reason why and what you are seeking. The second step is to dive one step further, to check yourself, comparing the dominant desires you have in worldly and a spiritual area. Where do you stand? Remember the types of people and their divisions I covered in the previous video. Where do you identify yourself? This reflection further helps you to determine your goals. Now, step 3. Reflect and observe your psychological temperament. As per modern psychology, there are 4 kinds of people: dynamic, emotional, intellectual, and intuitive or psychic. So are the 4 classical paths. No one path is suitable for all, but one may feel easier for someone that aligns with his or her temperament. So the first one is path of action or karma, closely relates to dynamic temperament. The second one is path of devotion or bhakti, relates to emotional temperament. Third is path of knowledge or jnana, relates to the intellectual temperament. And the fourth is the path of yoga or yog, relates to intuitive or psychic temperament. It is not easier for most seekers to simply start any path they want. It requires some guidance and preparation. Technically, each path is called a yogic path. The relationship between Tantra and yoga is like father and son, but both have their own identity. Yoga is an integral and core component used as an application of Tantra. Lord Shiva shared many different approaches of yoga. The major ones I have covered in my previous videos, especially in the various tantric practices and their levels. These yogic methods and different branches can be used in both the right hand path and the left hand path practices, though uses of these practices are more visible in the right hand path due to the obvious reasons. But please keep in mind that an authentic Tantra yoga practice requires the right combination of all 4 paths with different proportions as per individual temperament. So the first 3 steps give you an idea as to where you stand. You know the reason, desire, and your temperament that indirectly indicating your predominant path. Like one size does not fit all, one path or one set of practice does not work for everyone. Do not choose a path because it is popular or your friends and family or somebody else is following it. Based on your temperament and your deep desire, you may feel inclined towards a particular path naturally. Sometimes you have to try more than one path if you are not sure and experience it before committing to one you are inclined to follow. But don't become an endless hopper either. The fourth and the last step on any chosen path, be mindful of the practices. Do not turn your practice like an ordinary ritual which lacks the dedication, devotion, and losing the sight of your goal or the ultimate. Because if that happens, you will experience it as a dry practice devoid of bliss and joy, and you will start to lose interest. Also, on any given path, you will find different types of seekers. They can be divided into 6 types. The first type is called the prisoner because he is captive of someone's dogma or belief. He simply believes that just because he is believing or following someone or something, such as the path or teacher, even without doing anything, everything will happen on its own. So in reality, he has given up on the action or practice. Literally does nothing, so the progress is also nothing. The second type is situational. This seeker may or may not want to have a desire for any spiritual experiences, but may want to get rid of an issue or want some help to gain something. His teacher advises some practice, and if he does diligently and works, his goal is achieved, and he stops. Only very few continue in this category. On the other hand, if he does not practice as suggested or feel unsatisfied, then he hops somewhere else to find a quick fix to satisfy his ego or need. The third type is the hopper. The seeker is restless, impatient, and expects to learn everything quickly. If the current path or teacher does not answer his question fast, he is ready to jump to another one to find an answer. In reality, he is merely doing window shopping, buying nothing, just collecting information. In reality, he is not sticking to any path or practicing diligently anything to see any result. He wants to change without committing and letting go. The fourth type is the occasional. This seeker is interested in learning but preoccupied with other responsibilities in life. So he shows up as and when he gets time. For a class or a workshop or personal practice, he is not a regular practitioner. He is stuck between inner desire and the other responsibilities. Due to lack of regular practice, his progress also gets stuck. The fifth type is feel-good or fusion seeker. He loves to practice either in a group class, workshop, or personal practice relatively more regularly. He loves variety and fusion of different practices because it feels good to him. His goal is to just feel good physically, mentally, or emotionally. This is better than any previous seekers because at least he is more regular in his practice, though his progress will be limited because there is no commitment to one path to go deeper. The sixth type is the discoverer. This seeker finds the perfect balance with effort, determination, devotion, and trust in the path, teacher, and teachings. He finds the right teacher and settles to walk on the path with regular practice with a clear goal. He understands that without any effort and commitment, no path or practice will yield any result. One should aim to become a discoverer And to get there, it is important to remember 4 pillars for a seeker. So the first pillar is you, the seeker. You must have a burning desire to know whatever you are seeking and to pursue that you need to, and have a certain level of commitment and discipline to practice it regularly. When you start the practice, you will go through 3 stages of fear. First is the fear of failure, or I can't do it. Second fear is, if I succeed, what if I lose that success? And then the third one is how to maintain the acquired success. So how to get rid of these fears? As Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, Abhyasa and Vairagya. You must continue your practice with non-attachment to get over these fears. The second pillar is having a qualified teacher. A teacher who has personally done those practices and knows the pitfalls. And once you started the journey with a teacher by listening to his talk, attending his teachings, workshop or classes, it is important to request guidance from your teacher to help you to create a personal practice. Once you have that, practice daily as guided, which will help you to grow on this path. Keep in mind that Tantra is all about the practice, and the practice is key to the success. Just listening to a talk and attending workshops or group classes won't take you very far. You must have a personal practice with discipline. A good teacher will remove your doubts and progressively show you the direction on the path. But it's seeker's responsibility to practice diligently with faith, honesty, devotion, and sincerity. Though there are different types of teachers as well, that I will cover in my next video. But here I'm only focusing on the seeker. The third pillar is the goal. Like people say, if you don't know where you are going, then any path will lead you anywhere, and that will be everything to you. Or if you achieve everything, it won't mean anything to you. As my teacher said, anything is possible with the right practice. For the worldly person, the goal may be the acquisition of material wealth and pleasure. For a sick person, to regain health is the most important thing. For a yogi, the goal may be a yogic trance. For a lover, to seek sexual pleasure. For a mantra practitioner, to invoke the latent power of the mantra. For a monk, it could be enlightenment. So whatever it may be, you must have a goal. The fourth pillar is resources. Realistically speaking, it is not possible to do your practice without proper support. It does not mean that you need a lot of money. Rather, you need to have supportive environment such as time, place, and the people around you to continue to support your practice without creating any impediment. And when you are ready to take courses or retreats, you have all those resources, including money, to do so. In summary, as a seeker, in the beginning, the most important thing is the burning desire. Then you need a qualified teacher, a clear goal, and have basic resources. This will help you to ask the right question to your teacher. Tantra is vast with so many paths and practices, and no one teacher can claim to know it all. But a qualified teacher will either guide you or may refer you to the right person or resource. Now, a word of caution. Many times we find something so interesting that we want to know everything overnight. Even though we know everything has a process and takes time, and there are no shortcuts. So if someone is promising you something in a shortcut, it might sound appealing, but will not be genuine. In my next video, I will talk about Tantra masters or gurus, including the false ones. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you so much for listening. If you like the information, please subscribe, like, and share so that everyone else can also enjoy this.